Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Kosuke.
Yep.
Really quick before we get started, we're finishing up the annual report. We'll send out a draft here shortly for the TOC to review. One thing that I'd like to track down are committer numbers and participation from the community, developer community for Jenkins X. Is Kara the right person to track those numbers down?
You're asking who is the right person to track down?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who would that be? I guess I can forward it to you. I think Tracy would know for sure. But yeah, I'm happy to pass it to the group.
Okay. I'll send an email out later today. Jackie or I will send it over to James and Kara, and we'll CC you just for eyeballs.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if you I think you should have Tracy. She would.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's give everyone a couple more minutes, and we can get started.
Yeah. I hope people had a wonderful break.
I did almost nothing. It was glorious.
Yeah, sometimes that's the best kind of a break. I feel like I finally adjusted to American way of the end of the day break, which is like a much heavier on the old year side and I'm very light on the new year side. So it's the other way around in where I grew up. So it took a while for me.
Where did you grow up?
In Tokyo.
In Tokyo.
So
City
people
Key.
usually work until like say December 29th or 30th even. But the New Year's is usually off until like 7th.
Dan is still on paternity leave, by the way, so I don't think he'll be joining us. Dan Lawrence.
Got it.
I don't believe Andy will be here either.
Well, let's get this show on the road.
He's on the road?
I said, let's get this show on the road.
Huh. All right. I guess I assume it's American, like, well, I'm learning the new expression every day. I guess it's a jargon. What you mean is that let's get going.
Yes. Sorry, that's probably a California colloquialism.
Yeah, go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah, okay. So it's going to be, all right. So the SIG interop. So I think all the votes, necessary votes we have, and I see this PR just got merged like yesterday. So where does up to us? I guess it's just, yeah. So but these here, I guess from your perspective, like where does it stand and what's the next step?
Yeah, this was, I think I put this point Sunday evening or something, and then Dan came straight away and fixed all the questions like repo, mail list, Slack channel, and so on. And also he merged the PR. So I want to thank everyone for supporting this idea, and I really look forward to collaborate on this important area, and we have a lot of interest to this area. So as I noted that I just set the survey up to decide the meeting frequency and daytime. As Dan suggested, Thursday, I put 4 time slots there for Thursday. And I will send the survey to CDF TOC and SIG interoperability mail list, because not many signed up to SIG interop mail list. I also included the survey link under PR, because there are many people who are watching the PR. And by Sunday, I hope we get enough responses and can have the first meeting by next week.
Cool.
But yeah, looks good. And
I have to check my mail filters, because I didn't see that survey, so I'm definitely going to.
I haven't sent the survey on the mail list yet. I just put it under PR, and I will send the mail right after the meeting to mail list.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else that we can help on that? It looks like you're well on the way.
Yeah, Dan fixed everything. Suddenly, I just put the last question there. How should we get these things fixed? Like, should we create issues in CDF GitHub? And he just fixed them, so we don't need to create issue or anything.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan, for that. Yeah.
All right. So Kay is not here. So I guess let's skip that. And then the screwdriver. So where does this stand at the moment? Yes. Dan, it sounds like you have some. So it looks like the IP. So there's the PR conversations, and then there's some.
Yeah.
I guess
I can fill you in what we're
Yeah.
at so far. I had a couple email exchanges and a phone call before the holidays. We are in a process of thank you everyone for voting to get that through. And now we're in a place to coordinate an official call for them to transfer IP assets as well as logos and that stuff over to the CDF. As part of the process for incubating projects. We're going to walk through that. Steve Winslow and I will walk through that with them on Friday about, how code and committed code is all copyrighted by the project itself, but that certain assets are transferred over. So just walking through the basics of what that looks like in the landscape will change, a little bit for them. But not that much. And so just walking through that and then what to expect now that they're an incubating project.
Right.
And that happens Friday. So if anyone on the TOC would like to attend that, please let me know. I'm happy to open that discussion. It was scheduled by their side, on Verizon's side. So just feel free to let me know you would like to attend, and I'll get the official time, I believe, is 9 a.m. Pacific on Friday.
I would like to do that. I have a hard stop at 9:30. Do you know how long it's going to run?
Well, that reminds me.
For sure. Tara, I'll send that to you. Anyone else on the TOC who would like to attend, please let me know.
Thanks, Dan.
Yes, it must be. My connection looks pretty crappy at the moment. Can people hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I guess
yeah,
not.
Say again. Close again.
Jeez.
You're cutting out slightly, but not
Hello.
not to the point of not understanding.
Can you repeat that, Kosuke?
Hear me?
He was just asking if people could hear him.
Yes. I think we lost him. I see his mouse moving around, but
can I do here?
We're experiencing technical difficulties. Yeah, can you hear us, Kosuke? I think that's the more important question right now.
We can skip a little bit. I don't know if he can hear us or not, but for everyone on the call, the project service desk is live, which means if you go to the repository and GitHub for the foundation itself, under issues, that's how we're managing issues for the foundation and any projects that need support. We're going to try that for a while. It seems to be working, and I'm opening it up to beyond just operational internal activity, but to do stuff on a larger, more transparent and broader scope. I'd like to open it up now. So that lives underneath project services. You click the button, open up a request or ticket on GitHub. The project services also, that page describes services that we offer, again, for community just learning about CDF or wanting to deep dive into what we offer for their project or what have you. That is now live. So that went up right before the holidays.
Awesome. I have this reminds me, I'm see the China presence on the bottom of that page. I think we finally made the call, if I remember correctly, on the split time for these meetings, but we never actually changed the schedule. So I know it's a little bit orthogonal what you were saying, but I want to make sure that we follow up on that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for things like that, for like supporting Asia Pac time zones or floating to different time zones so that we can make sure that the time is appropriate. I don't think we actually solidified a time yet, but that would be something that asynchronously, if you're thinking about something, Terry, you can just open up a ticket and we can.
There we go. Now we have a process for it.
All right.
You're back, Kosuke.
Switch the network to tethering. It's well, at least. All right, we'll see. Just like one question back to the IP transfer. It reminds me of still unfinished Jenkins transfer. I'm trying to recall what's the current stumble block is. But any chance you have that, you remember where it's still stuck?
I just got an email from Chris asking if we could start to finish and wrap that up. So, and I know Mike Dolan had been participating in that. So I apologize for, let's get that closed up. Tyler had sent over some questions a while back.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we should go through an itemized list of what's outstanding and just check it off and close it out.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it'd be really good to kind of put this thing kind of going on forever. So we'd love to see this getting resolved. And if there's anything we can do to push this forward, I'm happy to.
Yeah,
we're not big enough to have that much
funding. Oh, go ahead, Tara.
I was just going to say, we're not big enough to have this much bureaucracy.
Well, the next foundation is pretty big, so. But
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it should be surmountable. We have all the right people, so.
Yeah, so I think funding. There's Oleg had brought up some questions about what's the destination for funding moving forward? Is it going to go through Community Bridge or is it going to go through CDF or both? Are the features rich enough in Community Bridge to support mentorship and all the different things going forward as well? So there's additional conversation for not just the IP transfer, but then if things are transferred over from a funding, IP, trademarks, infrastructure, all that, what's the fallout of there?
Right.
Yeah. So let's consolidate that question offline.
Yeah.
Let's get in and get all the partners involved, and we'll get it done.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. And then I think before I kind of brought you back to the old topic, I think you have moved farther down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So back to you. Where, I guess, how far away?
I did cover, you've seen the foundation issue tracking on GitHub. I wanted to open that up now. It's working fairly well, but I wanted to provide that as a service to projects, see how it goes, and open it up on a wider basis. So if you go to the project services page, it describes the services that CDF offers projects, but it also has a, hey, if you need support for either your project or working with the CDF in some form, click this button and it goes to our issue tracking. And it's I believe so far it's working well. Just click the service desk button and it'll take you to our GitHub repository and where you can open up a ticket with the foundation.
Right. Cool. And then who is manning on this on the other side? Is that basically you?
Myself, Jacqueline.
Right.
And if we have an internal routing, I'll have to maybe grab some of our other team members to participate. Chris is also on here. As it gets larger in terms of footprint for requirements, such as our cluster and some other things getting stood up, other members will step in.
Right.
But I'll still be point person to make sure it's routed properly. But,
cool. Thanks for doing this. You see, the Jenkins transfer and the infra stuff, like should they be also tracked here? Is that how you kind of organize your work queue? Maybe if so, I'll be happy to create tickets there.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things we left off in the board meeting, Kosuke, was to have some growth in project recruiting. We had success with Screwdriver, and then I just wanted to put that here for the TOC to reference there's other people listening on right now, but how to go about recruiting, what are the requirements for a project to come forward.
Just as on a related note, if you recall, there was a project captain out of Austria that had put in a pitch proposal, or I think an incubation proposal for CNCF. I reached out, and Dan Lawrence and I have been engaging with them, and they may be slotting over to join us. And certainly there's some for the interoperability folks, there's definitely some interesting discussions going on around events management with Tecton. So I think those conversations are going well. I'm kind of waiting for Dan to get back from paternity leave to continue those, because some of those discussions are at a technical level that I can't really represent. But I am hopeful. So this is an FYI. And the project is KEPTN. I'm not quite sure how. Captain. Yeah. No E and the TN. There you go.
Cool.
And then I actually have to run. Unfortunately, I got a conflict that I can't sneak out of. I did want to just quickly touch on that last event. It looks like I thought we had approved the roadmap, Kosuke, but it doesn't look like the PR has landed.
Okay.
So I wanted to follow up on that, and then just as I mentioned, I want to have another look at the roadmap and talk a little bit about bring in some more discussions around community engagement, in particular around sort of process practitioners. And to that end, I've had a meeting over the break. The one thing I did that wasn't just lounging around on my couch over the holidays, I met up with J. Paul Reed, that some of you may know, and I pitched him the idea of creating a resiliency SIG for the CDF, and he's super interested. So we've got a PR that we're still prepping to bring to the TOC. We've got a couple other people in the resiliency community that we want to recruit into that group, but hopefully I'll have some updates in the next, realistically in the next month, but soon.
Cool.
So I just wanted to shout that out.
Yeah, got it.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Sarah, one last bit on resiliency. I talked to Aerospace Corporation and Defense Department. The DoD may become a member of CDF. And by doing so, they've offered a few different things, hardened repositories for Kubernetes and some other things that they're working on, as well as zero footprint and resiliency are two big efforts in their DevSecOps.
Awesome. If there's any threads that are reasonable to add me to, I would love that.
Okay, cool. I have a scheduled follow-up with them next week, so I'll let you know how it goes, unless you want to be on that call. But absolutely, I'll get that.
If my schedule allows it, I'm certainly happy to. My schedule doesn't always allow for things, but feel free to throw me on there and I'll see what I can do.
Cool, will do.
All right, thanks everybody.
Cool. All right, so I guess this must have been these last two things. So annual report.
As I mentioned a little earlier, we have a bunch of wrap up for the kind of a final draft, and we'll send that out to the TOC for review and provide comments and feedback before we start cutting it up for publishing to the web and a PDF, and kind of making it look nice. But and that's what I was mentioning, Coach K, is that we still need some numbers finalized by the Cloudbeast team or the Jenkins X team. And Jackie will follow up on that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm happy between Tracy and we're happy to track down the people who can look up that numbers.
Cool. On the CDF cluster, it's a bare bones cluster provided by credits from Packet. Now, Equinix, it'll still be Packet providing the services. I don't know if you all are aware, but Packet was acquired by Equinix. Yep. So they will still be providing support. As we had just started launching the service, CNCF has a similar cluster. I documented the cluster. It's in a repository now. Treat it as draft format. Feel free to update any terms in the prioritization or usage policies that you'd like to see at the TOC level. But I took a lot of inspiration from how CNCF has been working at how to prioritize projects and members, and then the community at large.
Cool. Yeah, so I guess in the context of like linking this to the Jenkins infra work, like some of the things, what I'm curious is, at least in the Jenkins project, the people who are like working on the infrastructure, those are like more operation-minded people, and the rest of the contributors who work on the code, they're kind of different group of people. So I wonder, maybe, you know, I did think it'd be nice to get, if other projects like Tecton, I don't know if Tecton, what infrastructure Tecton relies on, but I'm sure the Spinnaker had some folks working on those things as well. So if you can get those like infra-focused people from different projects together, I think they probably benefit from swapping notes and sharing the burden. And then so this, I think something like this is probably fall on them. They probably find a good use for that too. Now, just kind of like historically, the challenge with this open source project infrastructure is like, we usually rely on, so there's a time period where maybe like 5 years or so where we lean heavily on these like donated assets from this provider and then that, and it tends to create this like a hodgepodge of hard to maintain assets. And then so, you know, one of the reasons we moved on to Azure 3 years ago was having that consistency and uniformity across. That turned out to be actually very, you know, effort saving. So I'd imagine, I mean, somebody already using this Packet cluster. I'm not aware of them, but are they being used by some projects already?
Quite a bit on the CNCF side. This is a facility I thought would be good to have some, especially the size of Jenkins or other projects that are incumbent graduated projects may not fit the bill, but as we scale, it should provide infrastructure lab support or prototyping support even to member corporations or incubating projects and so forth. So, or even if there's an outcome of a SIG that requires testing in a test bed like a lab, we have that facility in this cluster.
Cool.
I agree, where you may have existing infrastructure that buying into some of the Kool-Aid and conveniences of specific vendors is good. But if you're needing just some resources to get stuff stood up, or that you want to move into something a little bit more mature than the development that you have going on, then that's what this is for.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we can find ways to reduce the overhead of operations. What I see is our infra team, they have to do so many little things. So if you could kind of burden
Sure.
bring more people together and like I share the burden. Anyway, cool. All right. Last bit, the CFP committee.
Yeah, Jacqueline, do you want to go through the CFP? I don't know if you can hear us. The CFP.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
I was going to say, we are going through a process of getting the CFP committee stood up for, I believe it's CD Summit Europe.
Yep.
And
well,
if you wanted to take on some of the details there, that would be good.
Yeah, so Christy sent out an email yesterday. So I don't know if people received it. So right now she's the chair. And so she is, if you didn't receive it, then I'll forward it from but all the outreach committee folks already know. So at least someone from your company should know. And if they don't, then please let me know. But I will send out that email. And I think the deadline to let her know if you want to be part of the planning committee is January 21st. And then we also, and then papers, let me look at that date. The call for papers. I know we have a tentative date with the Linux Foundation on deadline. Okay, so we are going to close on February 7th. And we will notify speakers that they've been selected on February 17th.
Cool.
So that communication is going to be sent out soon. I know that we've given, we've updated the call for papers, and so the next step is for Emily to send it out. So those are two things for CD Summit. So if you want to be part of the planning committee, let Christy know. She sent out a note, and then Emily should be sending out the call for papers probably this week. She is traveling, so it might be a little bit delayed. But we're giving folks about 3 weeks. And then also, I know Emily said that usually over the weekend they leave it open so you can still submit. But we're telling people that the hard deadline is the 7th.
Right. Yeah. The usual tactic. I guess I should forward those to the dev list contributors and users.
Yeah. So I think right now those are the two things that you guys should be aware about for the CD Summit Amsterdam.
Cool. All right.
And then Katrin, I sent already Emily a note. So Emily is our events manager, and so I've let her know that we need the prospectus so that you can review the type of sponsorships that we're going to be hosting or that we're going to have. But as soon as I have that, I'll send it over to you, and we'll distribute the sponsor, because we are going to be looking for sponsors. And something that we found really successful at the CD Summit North America was the Mindshare Cocktail Hour. So I'd love to be able to do something like that again, but we'll need sponsors. And yes, it's Emily Ruff.
Cool.
Thanks for the wink.
I just started mentally completing that, but I'm sure people appreciate the.
Yeah, I know. I know that. So that was like a really great key learning from last CD Summit planning, was that we just we really weren't as persistent and aggressive, I guess, on the sponsorship. So this is why I'm trying to correct that this time around.
Cool. All right. So let's see what else. I guess maybe. So I guess just, I mean, since no one else is really here, but just to leave this on the record, I'm trying to make more progress on the Jenkins infrastructure expense and moving that over to the CDF. So I've been in conversation with, I mean, I mentioned that a few times in the past in this call and in other opportunities. I'm trying to get the discussion moving along. So if you have any thoughts, questions, input, that'd be great. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna be, continue to push that talking to the GB and budget committee. So I guess that's FYI. All right, I guess that's kind of it then. Anything else before we wrap this up? I guess that's enough. So I guess folks, have a good day, have a good evening, etc. And then I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. See you all.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.